Mela may be money, but Mela is certainly no longer WWE. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. And it looks like it's finally been confirmed that Carmella is no longer with the company. It was reported over the past few weeks that her WWE contract had expired. It looked like she had left the company. Now she's come out making an Instagram video basically saying that she is gone and that she's got stuff to say about her departure from WWE. So I would have to assume that they maybe have not left on the best of terms. And does it have anything to possibly do with the whole Corey Graves situation? Because look, Carmella, in terms of being a full-time wrestler, we know that she's not really did much over the past few years, whether it be being pregnant or injured or whatnot. In terms of being an active in-ring competitor, we've barely seen Carmella over the last few years. But of course, they've kept her around because I believe, she's married to Corey Graves. They keep Corey Graves around. They want to keep his wife around. It's like one big happy family. But a little bit surprising. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe it's not. But with Corey Graves and his future seemingly up at the air, he had that little outburst about the Raw job and how he was getting replaced by Pat McAfee. Then he disappeared for a bit. Then he came back to NXT. We don't really know if he's going to stick around in the long term, whether he's been slapped back down to reality or if it's a work. Some people thought it was a work. Really doesn't look like a work now from what we're seeing. But I wonder if this is punishment. I wonder if this is some way, well, here, if you're going to try and criticize us, if you're going to try and rebel and act against us, then guess what? We ain't going to re-sign your wife. We're not going to keep your wife on a contract. Anyway, this is what Carmella had to say regarding her release and her thoughts on it. She said, quote, "Some news broke last week and I just wanted to let you know that I've seen all of your texts and tweets and messages and DMs. Oh my god, you guys are just the best and I'm so grateful for you and everything that you've been saying about Carmella and my career. I'm so blessed, so thank you. I know there's a lot of questions and uncertainty around everything. I will be going on a podcast later this week answering some of those questions and telling my side because I have a lot to say about the situation." End of quote. So there you go. I mean, that would suggest that there's maybe more than meets the eye here. Maybe there's some controversy behind Carmella no longer being in the company. By the way, guys, feeling pretty sick right now, so if you're wondering like why my throat's going and stuff like that, that will be the reason why. But I mean, with Corey Graves still in the company and still having some form of role, even though it looks like he has been demoted to NXT for the notable future, I can't imagine Carmella's going to rock the boat too much. I can't imagine she's going to launch a scathing attack on WWE while her husband is in the company, employed. But I don't know. I look at Carmella and she's kind of, I guess, her own career. She did have that kid and she did leave to become a mother, and that's always going to fuck up your chances in the wrestling business. She did have a few injuries as well. But when I look back at Carmella in her prime with Enzo and Big Cass, and then obviously she went out on her own and she won the Money in the Bank and she was teaming up with Ellsworth. I think Carmella was one of the more entertaining characters in the women's division. I think that WWE have maybe dropped the ball with Carmella, and there's no doubt that back in the day, she was hot. She was super hot. Now, unfortunately, she's done what all these other women do, and that is seem to get a lot of surgery, seem to get a lot of Botox, lip injections, you name it, she seems to have got it. And if you see an image of Carmella in the present day, honestly, it doesn't look like Carmella, and every time I see Carmella, I seem to think that she's like morphing into Charlotte Flair. She begins to look like Charlotte Flair more and more every day. But no, I actually thought Carmella was pretty decent, especially when they had like the brand split, and then I'd say around like 2017, 18, 19, I think Carmella was one of the more entertaining women on the roster, and I think she's actually a pretty decent talker for what it was. But obviously now we've seen her miss a few years, injuries, and then obviously she had the kid. She had that gimmick where she was like the most beautiful woman in WWE. Didn't really go anywhere. Kind of felt like they were copying, I don't know, Eva Marie. That's what it kind of felt like to me. And I just, by that point, I just didn't really think that Carmella was the most beautiful woman. I think if you're going to go around calling yourself the most beautiful woman in WWE, I think you need to be the most beautiful woman in WWE, and I just don't see it with Carmella. I mean, it is what it is. You look at NXT, and I said it back then, I'll say it again. You've got a lot of young, hot women, coming up in NXT, women in like their mid-20s and stuff like that, and it's just, you got Carmella who's, approaching her mid-40s now, and, she's had a lot of surgery done. She doesn't have that natural look anymore compared to what a lot of women in NXT have, so I don't know. For me, if you're going to call yourself the most beautiful woman in WWE, you need to be the most beautiful woman, or at least one of the most beautiful women. And for me, it doesn't really work with Carmella anymore. I think if you're going to give that gimmick to someone, why not give it to somebody on NXT? Why not give it to somebody that is like 23, 24, whatever, someone that is, in their prime, someone that still has that natural look, someone that, is, someone that's fucking hot, so that's what I would do personally with the Carmella gimmick. But look, don't know what's happening with Carmella or her husband, but looks like she's officially done, and I think her wrestling career's done. I can't imagine she'll go anywhere else. I think she'll just stay at home and be a mother. Who knows? Tony Khan could whip out the checkbook and maybe get her to go to All Elite Wrestling, but I don't really see that happening. I think she will. Who knows? Look, if Corey Graves leaves, maybe Carmella could join him in AEW. Would Corey Graves be a decent addition to AEW commentary? I'm sure they could find a seat for him somewhere. But, yeah, no, I think personally, I think we've already seen the best of Carmella in WWE, so it's not a big loss for me. But, yeah, 2019, 18, and 17, I did enjoy that Carmella, and I thought that maybe she could have been used a bit more, but, after then, I think she just got less attractive with every return. Like I said, all these surgeries, injections, just not a good look, time away, injuries, and yeah, I think time just passed her by. But anyway, guys, that's what I think. Let me know what you think down below, and have you any interest in seeing Carmella continue her wrestling career? Would you like to see her back in WWE one day, or turn up at AEW or TNA or something like that? Let us know what you think down below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, been Fog Wrestling. Thanks for watching, and peace.